Breaking news: the South China Sea is on edge. Vietnam and the Philippines have launched their first-ever joint patrols, standing together in contested waters. This alliance is a powerful statement against years of pressure from China. Recent Chinese harassment pushed both nations to unite. The world is watching as the region's balance shifts. A new chapter begins in the South China Sea. The sight of Vietnamese and Philippine flags flying together on the high seas is incredibly symbolic. For years, these two countries were competitors in the South China Sea, with overlapping claims and occasional disputes. The idea of their navies working together would have been unthinkable a decade ago. But shared threats create new alliances. Escalating pressure from China has pushed these former rivals into partnership. This alliance is about more than ships. It's about shared identity and a common destiny. Both nations have long histories of fighting for independence and understand what it means to stand up to a larger power. Their joint patrols are a physical manifestation of this new spirit of solidarity. The message is clear: an attack on one is a concern for both. By combining naval and Coast Guard assets, they can cover more of the South China Sea and respond faster to incidents. This operational synergy makes them a more formidable presence. A Chinese vessel that might have intimidated a lone Filipino boat will think twice when faced with a joint patrol. This is the core of their strategy: strength in numbers. The partnership shows that historical disputes can be set aside for the greater good. It's a beacon of hope for other small and medium-sized countries in the region. By working together, they can shape their own future and stand up for their rights under international law. This alliance is not just making headlines, it's writing a new chapter in Southeast Asian history. The transformation from rivals to partners is a powerful story. It proves that unity is possible, even in the face of deep-rooted differences. The world is watching, and so are their neighbors. The South China Sea is one of the world's most strategic waterways. 1/3 of global shipping passes through these waters, trillions of dollars in trade every year. Any disruption here could send shockwaves through the global economy. That's why countries from the US to Japan and Australia are invested in keeping these sea lanes open. For millions living along its coasts, the South China Sea is a lifeline, rich in fish and vital for local economies. When access to these fishing grounds is blocked, it threatens livelihoods and food security. Beneath the seabed lie vast reserves of oil and natural gas, potential game changers for developing countries like Vietnam and the Philippines. But overlapping claims make it risky to explore these resources. The competition for this underwater treasure is a major driver of today's tensions. Here, the interests of local fishermen collide with the ambitions of global superpowers. The stakes are high for everyone involved. The new Vietnam-Philippines alliance is the latest and perhaps most significant attempt to chart a new course in these troubled waters. The world's eyes are on the South China Sea. Its future could shape the fate of the entire Indo-Pacific. The main source of tension is China's sweeping claim over nearly the entire South China Sea, marked by the infamous 9-dash line. This claim overlaps with the exclusive economic zones of Vietnam, the Philippines, and others. In 2016, an international tribunal rejected China's claim, but Beijing ignored the ruling. China has built artificial islands, equipped with runways, harbors, and missile systems, turning reefs into military outposts. These unsinkable aircraft carriers let China project power deep into its neighbors' waters. China's tactics are aggressive but fall short of open war, using Coast Guard and Maritime militia to intimidate and harass. Filipino and Vietnamese boats are routinely blocked, rammed, or hit with water cannons. This constant pressure is designed to wear down resistance and establish de facto control. Beijing frames itself as reclaiming historical territory while accusing others of meddling. Economic leverage and military muscle have kept many neighbors silent, but the Vietnam-Philippines alliance signals a new willingness to push back. The balance of power is shifting. The path to alliance was paved by painful incidents. In 2012, Scarborough Shoal became a flashpoint. China seized control after a standoff, blocking Filipino fishermen. For Vietnam, the 2014 oil rig crisis near the Paracels saw violent clashes and anti-China riots. Both nations have endured years of harassment, fishermen rammed, boats sunk, catches confiscated. In 2019, a Chinese ship sank a Filipino boat near Reed Bank. Vietnamese fishermen rescued the crew, hinting at future solidarity. These acts are about more than territory. They're about livelihoods and dignity. The shared experience of being bullied by a larger neighbor eroded mistrust between Manila and Hanoi. They realized that going it alone was futile. Diplomatic protests were ignored, and individual patrols were outmatched. These incidents became the catalyst for cooperation. Scarborough Shoal, the oil rig crisis, and constant harassment forged a sense of shared vulnerability. This pain became the foundation for a new alliance. Today's joint patrols are the direct result of these hard lessons. The alliance is rooted in real, lived experience. Vietnam and the Philippines uniting is a stunning reversal of history. For decades, suspicion and rivalry over the Spratlys kept them apart. Each pursued its own strategy. Manila leaned on the US, Hanoi built up its own deterrent. But as China's assertiveness grew, this fragmented approach failed. Quiet diplomacy and a shared threat changed everything. Leaders realized their minor disputes paled in comparison to the existential challenge from China's 9-line. Working together protects the vast majority of their maritime rights. Sovereignty and economic interests, fishing, energy are at stake. Alone, they're vulnerable. Together, they're resilient. This alliance is a pragmatic partnership, now evolving into genuine, strategic cooperation. It's a shift from nationalism to regionalism. By standing together, they're shaping their own security environment. The message: the future of the South China Sea will be decided by its nations, not by one power. The alliance is more than a handshake, it's a working partnership. Joint patrols are the most visible sign, with navies and coast guards sailing together to deter aggression. Intelligence sharing is crucial. Real-time information from radar, patrols, and fishing fleets gives both sides a clearer picture. Early warnings mean faster, coordinated responses to threats. This intelligence fusion is a true force multiplier. Diplomatically, they now speak with one voice, issuing joint statements and coordinating at ASEAN and the UN. Unified messaging raises the political cost for aggressors and amplifies their influence. These three pillars, patrols, intel, and diplomacy, form an integrated strategy. The alliance counters China's gray zone tactics at every level. It's a comprehensive approach, not just symbolic. The partnership is already altering the dynamics in the South China Sea. It's a model for other nations facing similar challenges. The alliance is built for resilience. The Vietnam-Philippines alliance is shaking up Southeast Asia, especially within ASEAN. ASEAN's consensus model has often left it divided and ineffective on the South China Sea. China has used its influence to block strong action from the bloc. The new partnership challenges this status quo, creating a coalition of the willing. Other claimants like Malaysia and Brunei are watching closely. If the alliance succeeds, it could inspire broader cooperation, even trilateral or quadrilateral patrols. External powers, US, Japan, Australia, India, now have a new anchor for engagement. This network of partnerships makes the region more resilient to coercion. But it also risks deepening divisions within ASEAN, creating a two-tiered organization. Navigating this new reality will be a major challenge for ASEAN leaders. One thing is clear: the conversation has changed, and urgency is in the air. The Vietnam-Philippines partnership is more than a military pact. It's a blueprint for small nations in a world of giants. It proves that unity and trust can shape destinies, not just great power politics. The alliance offers hope for small states everywhere, feeling squeezed by larger neighbors. Cooperation is expanding. Joint disaster response drills and humanitarian efforts are strengthening bonds. Both countries face frequent natural disasters. Working together saves lives and builds resilience. This partnership is about building a safer future, not just confronting threats. Its success depends on endurance, political will, modernization, and peaceful dispute resolution. There will be pressure from China and internal challenges, but the foundation is strong. In history's sweep, this alliance may be a turning point for Southeast Asia. It marks the moment regional nations took collective responsibility for their security. It's a bold stand for a rules-based order, where might does not make right. The South China Sea's turbulent waters have forged a new era of unity. Even the smallest nations can now stand tall on the world stage.